It seems to me you're a bit of a cowboy the way you're carrying on.
You listening? Fucking listen to this.
Hello, g'day, welcome back to another episode, Throttle On, Full Send, Never Left Podcast, episode 15. And it's been a fucking hot minute since we've chatted. Approximately a month. I know I've been a bit slack, but I'm back. And I want to start off by saying, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all the jazz. Hope you've had an absolute ripper of a time. You've got to spend it with the family. He's got to have a good break, good few days off, and yeah, and he's made the most of whatever time he's had off. Righto, so I just want to touch on a couple of things. Some of you may know, but I've changed jobs. I'm no longer a cow carter, I'm now a fucking mud carter again, and absolutely loving it. I had to take a bit of a step back, take a bit of a look at myself, and tame down on the driving side of things. It was in the best interest for my family and best interest for me, my health, and everything in between. So that's the GO now in the road train side, tippers. And fuck me, it's been a while since I've done any tipping, so hats off to the grader drivers over the last week or so for putting up with me. But, yeah, I'll get back to the old me and be able to tip once again. Now, you've probably noticed there's not too much background noise because in this job, I get to go to bed and I have enough time to be able to do this in the afternoon. So hopefully the audio is a bit clearer. Hopefully you can hear me. Probably a bit creepy. Sounds a bit creepy, I'd reckon. Especially with my monotone voice. But yeah, I'll have a listen to it later. And I'll probably think to myself, ooh, yeah, no good. Needs the background noise of the Jakes and the gear changes and the fucking UHF and everything like it used to. But anyway, we'll roll with this for a bit. Righto. Bit of good news. Straight up. And I know, we've been waiting for a while, but the hats have arrived. The partner, Kate, opened them up there today on the FaceTime with me. Would have been a good unboxing video, but didn't think of that at the time, so fucking, yeah, is what it is. But the hats are here, and they look absolutely fucking superb. So, like I've been saying for the last, I don't know, the whole time this has been going on. So if you'd like one, get in contact with me. We all know the email address, throttleon.fullsend.neverlift@gmail.com, or message me on Facebook. And if you haven't followed me on Facebook yet, get around it. Follow me on Facebook. Spread the word. It's, yeah, all about what I'm trying to achieve. So remember, like I said, price will be what the price will be. Percentage of the proceeds straight into a charity such as anything to do with mental health awareness, suicide prevention awareness, anything like that. I'll divvy it out evenly, and hopefully we can sell a bit of merch and get around to it. And when I say get around to it, I mean get around to changing the way we look, think, and act when it comes to dealing with mental health. Because I can sit here and rave on about it for the next 3 hours and ramble on with shit. But the short and simple of it is, if you're not doing well, speak up. If you're not coping with something, speak up. If you're if you see someone that's not coping with something, if you see someone that looks like they're struggling, if you see someone that's down, out, and just looks like they need a fucking hug, give them a hug. Shit. I got mates that would still come up and give me a hug. You're no less of a man. And another thing, tell your mates you love them. Because you wouldn't be surprised how much that'll brighten someone's day. It's the little things like that that'll pull someone through, you know, like, it doesn't have to be a big over-the-top act of kindness, and because, trust me, if you're over the top and in someone's face asking them if they're all right and everything like that, it can come across as being just a show. Well, that's how I feel anyway. I've had people, when I've been proper down and out, come up to me and they're really over the top with pushing the subject, you know, and you think to yourself, mate, you just acting on the way I feel to try and make you feel better, if you know what I mean. It probably might not be like that, but that's how sometimes it's come across to me. So just a simple handshake and a hug. How you going, brother? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Ask them how they're feeling. Yeah, it's the little things that matter. And I'm not a big one on over the top shit. I'd rather just, and some people will vouch for this, some of my mates will know, I'd rather just sit in silence when I'm feeling down and just know that someone's there with me. Make a bit of small talk. How they've been going, what's been going on, how's the weather? That's a big leading one. But yeah, it's just the little things like that. Sit with someone and just be there, and you'll be surprised how people open up. Silence can create the biggest noises as far as I'm concerned. And in saying that, when I say silence can create the biggest noises, that can also work two ways. So I know myself, and a lot of you will know, being out on the road on your own, like now, for instance, laying in the bunk of my truck, you're out in the middle of nowhere, there's nothing going on, there's no noise, you're just there with you and your thoughts, and that can be a tough one for someone, especially someone like myself who just gets in their head and thinks the worst of everything, thinks the worst of every situation, just puts the worst possible scenario together in my head, and I don't know how my brain does it, but it does it. And sometimes I'll be like that for hours and not get any sleep, just thinking how I could have done this better, how I could have done that better, what I could have said to this person, what I could have said to that person. And yeah, it's silence can create a lot of head noise. And in saying that, when you do have head noise and when you are in a situation like this and you're on your own, fucking reach out to someone. Like I said, I got mates that I can ring any time of the night and I know they'll pick up the phone. You just find the people when you're in a bad situation, in a bad headspace. Reach out to someone, and if you can't get hold of anyone, please, for the love of God, get in contact with a helpline or something like that. Because there'll always be someone on the other end that will sit and listen. They won't solve all the world's problems for you, but they will sit and listen to what you have to say, and they will take it all in, and they will help and guide you through those tough situations. So that's just a thought for this episode, just to wrap your heads around. I know I sort of drifted off and dragged it out, but yeah, like I've said before, all this is just coming to me in one hit. So, sorry if I'm rambling on, but yeah. Anyway, moving on. And speaking of Christmas earlier and the New Year, got to spend Christmas morning with me boys and did the whole Santa thing. Santa visited. He ate the cookies. The reindeer ate the carrot. Left a few footprints for Kate to clean up. And my eldest fella absolutely loved it. He had a ball. I've never seen a little boy rip and tear into presents and just want to play with every single one of them at that present moment instead of opening them all and then having a bit of a look through them. He'd open one and he'd start playing with it, and I'd say, boy, you got about 20 others he'd open. And he'd just, rip into them and handing out presents to his uncle and his auntie and his nanny and his dad and everything. And it was a bloody great time. And the youngest fella, he's still a bit young to understand what was going on, but he had a ball ripping the paper himself. So he got all the interactive toys to help with the motor skills and everything. So it was bloody great, and it was a moment of realization for me, what the true value of family and the people around me, the people that have stuck by me, means. And it's part reason I probably changed jobs to tame back, because I sat there in my lounge room and I looked around at everyone opening presents. Like, it was only a small Christmas. Me mum, me brother, his partner, Kate, and me two boys, and the dogs, of course. Mum's two dogs, my dog. They all got presents. But, I sat there and I looked around the room and how happy everyone was to just have who we had there and enjoy it, you know? So that sat with me for a week or so afterwards, and I got a message from a bloke that I've known my whole life. Our old fellas work together, and he offered me a job, and I thought to myself, well, this is my opportunity to tame back and get a bit better roster, a bit better, more time with the family, you know, and like I said, do it for my own sake, my own mental stability. Like the days of driving all night and the legend status of carting cows, that went out of me, a few years ago. But don't get me wrong, I still enjoyed it. I still had a bloody ripper time back carting cows, but I've realised that it's probably not the direction that I wanna be with me work life and family life, if you know what I mean. So, and that's what I mean. Make the decisions for what's best for you, your best interest, and your family's best interest. Like, you don't owe anyone anything. You don't have to be the person that's always got to just be stuck in the one spot. Just do what's right for you. And fuck me, my head noise over the last couple of weeks has just vanished. Moving into this job, taking a step back, just doing something that's not putting a strain on me. I'm not saying that cow carting's overly hard, but it is a what would you call it? Let's just say a job that takes it out of you, because you're always on the move. You're always worrying about animal welfare, worrying about your own welfare. But I've been doing this for the last week, and yeah, I couldn't be happier. And 2026, that's my year to do what I feel that's going to make me happier and better in my headspace, if you know what I mean. So that's where we are there. I'm driving an old 904 C15. A bit of a review going on here. C15. And yeah, it's very loud. It's got massive exhaust. Now, I got a big fucking head, and I reckon I could fit my head in the top of these exhausts. But she's an absolute weapon, and I dare say, if you see me coming down the road, I can guarantee you would have heard me for the last 10 minutes. Fuck, it's loud, but beautiful truck to drive. Beautiful people to work for. Just, yeah, absolutely loving it. So that's where we are at the moment. Righto, she's going to be a two-part thing, and there's going to be some background noise in this part because, well, I like to sleep, and I fell asleep through recording. So, lucky I wasn't doing it falling asleep while I was recording like I used to, because otherwise it would have been a table drain incident. But, yeah, the old, just want to give a quick shout out. Yesterday morning I was doing a pre-start on my truck and giving her a bit of a grease and everything, and I noticed one of me fucking steer tyres had peeled back to the canvas in a couple of spots. So, me being the quick thinking bloke that I am, and in the area that I am around Wandoan, I rang a mate of mine at Bolt Tyre and Mechanical in Wandoan. I've known Ash and Bolty for be nearly 13 years, and they've not recently, but recently took over the tyre service there in Wandoan, and I gave them a call, and they were straight onto it. New set of steer tyres for the front, and bloody exceptional work. They were straight onto it, got me back on the road within half an hour, and bloody, yeah, couldn't thank them enough for that. It was a bit of a spare of the moment thing, but yeah. So if you're ever in the area and you've done yourself a mischief, whether it be with tyres or you need something fixed, get on to the guys there at Bolt Tyre and Mechanical. They will sort you out and get you back moving the way you need to be. So, yeah, it's an unfortunate thing when you notice something like that, especially in some areas. I know we all just used to throw on a trailer spare and limp it back into town, and it's a good thing as close as I was, because I limped it back into town, got the guys there to throw on some new ones, and yeah, like I said, back on the road within half an hour. So yeah, so that's another thing when you're working with machinery like this, especially trucks and highway equipment and everything like that, you want to make sure that you're having a good look over everything and that everything's in good condition, because you're not only, especially with steer tyres, you're not only playing with your own life, you're playing with everyone else's life on the road. So you want to make sure that everything's in tip-top condition, and yeah, because them tyres on the front can make the difference between saving your life and, yeah, ruining your life. So, yeah, how's that? Bit of how would you say, not knowledge, but a bit of wise words from me. How's that? So, yeah. Like I said, if you're in the area, pop in and see the guys. They'll sort you out. Bloody beautiful work. Now, moving on to the section of piss spoilers. And fuck me. Now, I've been travelling up this Jackson-Wandoan road for the last, week. And if any of you have travelled it, you know what it's like. There's a few blind corners, narrow bitumen, single lane. And what boils my piss, right? And not only cars do it, but it's understandable on a corner or something like that when you don't have time to think and react. But when you're coming at me for the last 2 kilometres along a straight and you can see me coming and I'm in a road train, I don't have to spell it out for you. But if you're in a car, excuse me, if you're in a car and there's plenty of shoulder and it's safe to do so, move the fuck on off the road. Because, one, a lot of these roads in southeast Queensland, like I've said, everywhere around Queensland, aren't in the best condition on the edges, especially on single lane bitumen. So if a road train or any articulated heavy vehicle has to try and drop off the road, I know some people take the piss in trucks and they just don't even back off, but most of us, like myself, will back off and come past you at a steady pace when you're on the side of the road in case something goes wrong, i.e. blow a steer tyre or something unfortunate like that. But if you're coming towards me, one, get the fuck on off the road if you're in a car or a lighter vehicle, because things can go wrong when we try to drop off the road, pull you off the road, end up down in the tail drain, and things can go to shit real quick. And the other thing is, do you really want rocks flying off the tyres and hitting you in the windscreen when it could have been avoided by, moving off the black stuff and onto the side of the road and pulling up until us big trucks get past? Because I've had a few this week that seem to think that, he'll move, he'll get off the road as well. Well, one, you're getting sprayed with dirt. Two, it can be unfortunate and not safe for us. And three, you're in the fucking car, bruh. You can slow down and stop on a dime. We can't. So, just a little bit of a piss boiler there. Get off the road, let the trucks pass, and then get on with your merry way. And if we need to, we will back right down, and we will get off as well. So not to throw rocks and dirt over you or whip you with a dog trailer or something like that. And 2 trucks passing each other. If you're coming towards another truck, I know I do, I either slow right down and stop and tell old mate to keep you up there, old son, and keep into her. If you got to drop off, slow right down. I know I said like some unfortunate spots like around corners and stuff like that, you can't help it, but if you're on a straight and you need to both drop off to let each other around, if you're not communicating, slow right down. Don't whiz past each other at fucking 80 kilometres an hour bouncing rocks off each other, because it's not fun. I had a bloke one day, I said to him, and it was proper narrow bitumen. I said to him, keep her up there, mate, you're right. I'll back her off and get off for you. I slowed right down to virtually a stop. Old mate was on the bitumen and I was well and truly off. Old mate was on the bitumen and then got right to me and threw her down and fucking absolutely just peppered me with rocks. It sounded like I was in fucking Vietnam or somewhere like that, getting showered with bullets. And I said to old mate, I just told you to stay up there. Oh yeah, not much room here. I said, you had the whole fucking bitumen, brother. I told you to stay up there, you were on it, and then you waited until you got to me and threw it down. Oh, fuck me. Listen, old son. But anyway, that's the mentality of some people. You can't help some people, you can't make decisions for some people, but that's just the way it is in this industry. Everyone's got their own way of driving. Some of them yeah, may have had a couple of bowls of cornflakes and seen a certificate in there that said you can drive a truck. But yeah, I know I'm not perfect. I know I probably do some things on the road to piss people off, but you try and do the best you can to make it safe. And yeah, you don't want to be out there risking your life. Well, you are out there risking your life. You don't want to fucking put it in jeopardy by doing stupid shit. Plus, you look like a wanker. So yeah, we'll move on from that. That's my piss baller for today. And remember, guys, it is a steady start to this podcast journey, and I know there's not a lot of people involved, but don't be shy. Send in your piss boilers, send in a yarn. Like I said, every episode I'll read it out. You can read it out, send me a voice note, whatever. We need to start having a few stories getting involved, a few yarns, a few piss boilers, a few shout outs, whatever you want to do, get it on the airwaves, and we'll get it done. Have a bit of a laugh, a bit of a joke, whatever. So in saying that, I'm going to ask everyone's preference. What's your preference on trucks and the motors in that said truck? Because like I said earlier, I'm in a 904 Kenworth with a C15 in it, and me personally, I love these old C15 motors. Like, they just walk out of any jump up. They're fucking very strong, torquey sort of engine, and I've never really had any dramas as such. I had a C15 in a 4900 Western Star years ago when I first started carting cows, and it was a bloody great motor. The only downside that I ever found with them, and that everyone's probably ever found with them, is the engine brakes. They don't, once you've driven like a Gen 2 Cummins or a EGR Cummins, they don't pull you up as much as them, but they're a great motor, and I can't really fault them. Simple to work on, everything's right there in your face. Yeah, I've had EGRs, and everyone used to crap on about the EGRs and say they were shithouse, and a lot of people had a bad run with them and everything. But I had one in a 4900. It was the second truck I got when I was carting cows, and it was a beautiful truck, beautiful engine. Never had a drama with it, and I know a lot of people had dramas with turbo actuators and EGR coolers and everything like that, but we never, I think in the whole life of that truck, and it did over 1 million kilometres, it had one turbo and one cooler in the whole time. And I know a lot of blokes that had them, they were doing coolers and turbos and actuators and everything every couple of 100,000 kilometres, but yeah, the one that I had never had a drama, eh? I had X15s, obviously, in the later years, and they're a pretty good motor. The only downside to them was dropping liners and shit like that, but they're sort of getting on top of that now. I think they've got a new gen thing coming out now, so, but yeah, and in the preference of trucks, I've driven Kenworth, Western Stars, Max. Now, when it comes to a strong truck built for the Australian outback, Western Star, Kenworth, from what I've driven, bloody unreal truck. Righto, it turns out it's going to be a 3-part podcast. Shouldn't be any background noise again now because I'm on break, on my way home. So, yeah. But yeah, no, Kenworth, Western Star, even the Max, unreal trucks to drive. For living in and comfortable side of things with living in them, preferably Western Star. like, Kenworth is a beautiful truck inside. They feel more homely. Like, there's not as much room in them as a Western Star with the bigger cab and everything. But Kenworth's apparently moving to a bigger cab, such as the 610s and stuff like that. They're going to start bringing them out, getting rid of the older models and going to that wider cab. But yeah, Western Star Max. I've never really had a Mac with a bunk or anything on it. When I was over in Western Australia, it was all day cabs and that. So, but from a few other reviews from blokes that I know that have them Superliners and Titans and everything like that, they're a big, beautiful truck, plenty of room in them, and good for living in. So, not that you really want to be living in the fucking things all the time, but you know how it is out on the road. So, for working on, yeah, Western Stars, Kenworth, both straightforward, simple, easy trucks to work on. I don't know what the newer ones are like the 610s and all that, but the anything that I've driven, 904s, 909s, 659s, 658s, such as that, SARs, 409 I had. Yeah, beautiful to work on. Everything's pretty simple, strongly built. No, not much plastic shit. Like I said, I don't know what the new ones are like inside. I think they're all going that way, going on plasticky sort of stuff. But yeah, send through what you think. Tell me what you think. A lot of people say Volvo, even though you wouldn't tell your kids you're driving a Volvo. You think he's got two mums. But yeah, send it through. Tell me what you think. I'd like to hear some different opinions on them, because yeah, I'm always open to hear everyone's opinion on trucks. So yeah, send them through and we'll have a discussion about it. Alright, we'll start wrapping this up, and I've got a bit of a joke here for you, quick one. Always like to end it with a joke, and I'll end it with a bit of an inspirational quote as well. So the joke is, and it's one of Rodney's jokes, Mr. Rude, shout out to him. Was a young fella. He's quite a young fella, and he met this girl, and she fancied him a fair bit, and they were together there one day, and she said, we'll call him Johnny. Johnny, do you want to see my private bits? And Johnny said, yeah, no worries. She showed him, and Johnny said, She said, do you want to touch my private bits? Johnny said, yeah. But my dad, he said them things have got teeth and they fucking bite. And she said, it's not true, Johnny. Grab that broom handle there and give it a bit of a poke. So with that, Johnny gave it a bit of a poke, and right at that moment she farted. And Johnny said, fuck that. If it growled at a hunk of wood, imagine what it'll do to a piece of meat. It's not exactly how it goes, that joke, but I thought I'd change it around a little bit. So, yeah, bit of a cracking joke, I thought. Probably a lot funnier when Rodney tells it, but thought I'd add that one in there. So, with the quote, we'll get on the serious side of things now. Bit of an inspirational quote to get you through your day. And goes like this. And it's to do with what we spoke of earlier, with making your own decisions, being your own person, and being happy in the decisions you make. So, righto, here we go. You may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them. And yeah, that goes for everything I talked about earlier. Be happy in what you decide to do for you and what's in your best interest. So yeah, good little quote to end the potty with. Righto, guys. So as usual, be safe out there. Keep it upright and never lift. See you next time. Righto, legends. If you're enjoying what I'm doing and you like what you're hearing and you think it's some good chat, make sure you hit us up on the socials. Get on the Facebook page, give it a like, give it a follow, share it around. And if you're listening on whichever platform you choose to listen to, give it a follow, give it a like, give it a share, give it a subscribe. And just remember, never live. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.